Hey, Rise and Thrivers, what's up? It is Tuesday, February 10th already, second week of February. It is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we are Rise and Thrive Together. Welcome to episode number 93. And just in case you don't know what Rise and Thrive Together is, we are a vibrant community committed to educate you and equip you to get the results that you want through real talk and taking those real actions. Super excited to dive right in today and have this lovely, awesome conversation with my sister. Hello, Raquel. Great to see you.
Hey, sis. Hey, Rise and Thrivers. How are you? Super excited to continue our conversation on momentum. It is, it's so incredible because you have to be careful. I find that you've got to be careful what you confess and what you put out there because an out there meaning in the environment, the atmosphere, whatever. Because once you start making claims and powerful claims, yeah, stuff is going to start coming at you. Let's see if you can test that theory. Let's see if you can keep the momentum up with everything else that's going on. So it's absolutely incredible. Super stoked to continue that conversation. If you are new to Rise and Thrive Together, welcome, welcome, welcome. We are super excited to have you here.
Oh, I love it. It's so perfect because, hey, people, just in case you know, Raquel and I don't always get to connect, and she's been on some amazing journey this past week and this past weekend. Same with myself. And so, as I posted in all of our social media platforms, just in case you're new, we've got our YouTube channel, Rise and Thrive Together, our Facebook channel, Rise and Thrive Together. And we have our private Facebook community, Rise and Thrive Together community. And we're on Instagram at Rise and Thrive Together. And then if you're friends with Raquel and I, we have our personal Facebook pages. Find us, you can see our names. I'll put them up there for you just in case you need to look at us. And you'll find us on our personal um, Facebook as well. And it was just really perfect, like you said, like be careful what you declare, because we really got into last week about a conversation around momentum, right? We're getting into some things. And I had this like interesting post that I said to you guys, which was like, how do you maintain momentum even when things get tough? Tough, whatever that is, right?
Mm.
It's not a straight line at all. Momentum is not a straight line. There's bumps and detours and maybe even a few U-turns. And the key is to keep on moving forward. So I thought it was really exciting when you said your momentum, your kind of be careful is the minute you declare something, right? So I'm interested in having you share a little bit more about that. What do you mean by that?
So before I do that, I do want to give the opportunity for what momentum is, or to
Yes.
tell folks what momentum is. And it is the force that keeps us moving forward once we start. So it's a force that keeps us moving forward once we start something. So just be careful. I last week made a decision that I wanted to be in charge of a committee, and ever since then, it's like I haven't had a chance to start doing anything with the committee because so many other things came up. I had the opportunity this weekend to support a dear friend, and she and her boyfriend, they are co-founders of a organization, ESA Dream Foundation, and they support the arts and athletics. She's the arts, her boyfriend is the athletics. Had an incredible um, fundraising ball, which they have annually. Had an amazing, amazing guest speaker. This woman got me so fired up and so stoked. And now I come back today from just an incredible weekend with spending time with friends, and just so great, and my sister. And now it's like I hit the ground running. I got back not too long ago, had to jump into a meeting at 7 o'clock. And that meeting ended at 7:45. Had to kind of get my face ready. Yes, my face got had to get ready. And then jump on here to hang out with you guys. And despite the fact that I drove 7 hours straight, um, doesn't matter because it's about getting in action and staying in action. And I want to know. So that's what I mean by when you put stuff out there, it really and truly be mindful what you put into the atmosphere because the test is going to, it leaves your mouth. Here comes the test. Let's see. Are you able to keep up the momentum? And yeah, I am. Am I trying to keep one eye open right now? Yeah. But nonetheless, I am here. I am focused, and you guys have 100% of my attention. And then behind the scenes, Reg was telling me about a great opportunity that we have to share with this incredible, incredible person who supports Rise and Thrive Together. Johnny Regan, so amazing. He is the king of vision and the Global Vision Conference. And he believes that every single child should have access to movies and popcorn and food and clothing. And that is his vision. And he wants to have us on his Global Vision as a part of his Global Vision Conference. Amazing opportunity. Something else to add to the calendar. But you know what I've learned? And sis, I want to hear your thoughts on this. I've learned that things are going to come and I either get a bigger plate to accommodate everything. You know, some people say, I have a full plate. And then I'm like, well, let me just get a bigger plate. And then not just get a bigger plate, but start to prioritize. Because not
Yes.
everything is a priority. So I need to I prioritize all these great opportunities. Yes. And some of them I do have to say no to. That with Johnny is not one of them. But absolutely. Um, we prioritize, but we keep the momentum going. As long as something is within my lane and my purpose, I'm there. I'm all for it. It's so incredible. I want to hear your thoughts, Reg.
I love it. I mean, it's just perfect because it's the same thing. There's two things that, you said, which was really powerful for me. One was prioritizing, right? That really, we've talked about this, guys, in the past. Prioritizing, what matters to you is really important. We've talked throughout last year, going into this year, about calendaring things, right? You know, like Raquel had said, behind the scenes, we've got an upcoming Global Vision virtual conference, which everybody will get, an opportunity. So she puts that in her calendar. I put it in our calendar. We look at our calendar. We know what's happening already, the things that we have. And we also have we can, get on there. If it really matters to us, we make that a priority. The other thing
Mhm.
is, when you say a bigger plate. So here's what is really interesting, sis, that you said that. I'm on certain calls. So I was on a team call today about an upcoming conference that's, happening. And the word why I say is team. My bigger plate becomes team. So could have done this alone. That it's you and I in a show. Now it's Raquel and I am proud to say episode 93. And sure, we have this kind of working like a well oiled machine right now between the two of us, but it takes something more than just the two of us. We have people behind the scenes. We have people behind the scenes who have been long time Rise and Thrive Together supporters that believe in our mission, that because it's their mission. So there's someone, shout out to my husband. He happens to be the one who does our website, the one that when we are ready to have workshops, does all of that. That's we get to have the vision, we get to create the content, he gets to put it out there, make sure that it happens. Raquel wasn't sure if she was going to make it today, right? Because she was committed to driving, and so we had a conversation. We have other people who are committed to this vision, committed to having their voice be seen and heard, and love this conversation, so they were ready in the wings. I had team. Hey, guess what? Could have done this alone, but it's kind of fun dynamically. So that person was waiting with a priority. Boom, Joanna Trust saying hello. Perfect timing with saying, hey, I'll let you know by 5 o'clock, right? And by 5 o'clock, I knew. So that's for me when I say the bigger plate. My bigger plate is I'm for 2025, and my momentum is not having a bigger plate on Regina's shoulders, but a bigger plate inside of community that is enrolled in our vision, and it fits their vision. Like, we don't just pick anybody, right? It's people who have our values, really get what our vision is about empowering. Yep. Teamwork makes the dream work, right? Absolutely. So that's what I got from you. So thank you so much for saying that, because that's what keeps momentum going. This is 93 episodes, guy. 93 episodes, week after week. And no matter what, nobody, we're not going to be here. We may pre-record, we may show it, but we are having that show happen, and that takes something. So bumps and turns, sometimes I'm not on, sometimes Raquel's not on, but the show is happening. And for me, it's, who do we, Raquel and I, have in this beautiful community that are right here watching us, that's ready to jump in and say, yep, this conversation is important, this show's important, let's have it happen. So that's what I got from that. And I'm proud to say we have a really pretty awesome team. We really do.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, I want to swing and ask a question of our audience. And what are, for you, what are the role of habits in building momentum
Ooh.
for you? So, again, what is the role of habits in building momentum
What is the role
for you?
of
Now, I was listening to habits in building momentum. I was listening to an audiobook as I was driving to the Carolinas, and I hear we have to give a shout out to, who are we giving a shout out to? Birthday greetings
Michael
to
Embry?
Michael
Embry.
Embry.
Yes, Michael Embry, one of my closest, awesome
Hi,
guys.
Michael.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Back to Momentum. Thank you for being here on your birthday. We appreciate you sharing your special day with us. So thank you very much. But what is it? What is the role of habits in building momentum?
All right.
So we've got a couple of answers here. Mike, I don't know if you're warming up your
Yes.
vocal cords or if you're really waiting for me, as in you want to get selected. Either way, it absolutely is great. We've got a couple of positive mindset. Thank you, Sharon. A positive mindset is definitely a habit. I love it. Let's see. What's another one? Habits create a smooth path when ready to roll. Huh. Interesting. I like that. All right.
All right,
Awesome.
Joanna.
So, as I
Yeah.
was saying, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was listening to an audiobook on my drive down and back up. And there were three things. And let me confess this, I am not a football person. I say that to say the person that gave this kind of quote or information is a football quarterback. And I do this because he's the one that throws the ball. I'm probably going to get the name incorrect. So I do not want to misquote anyone. So I'm going to stay in my lane and I'm going to say the three things that were given is determination, consistency, and keep doing the reps. Now, anybody ever went to a gym and worked out, you do reps, you do sets of 12, right? Or 3 sets of 10 or whatever it is. In order for you to keep momentum going, you need determination, consistency. Consistency is so key. And you have to keep doing the reps, even when you don't want to. Because I will
Mm.
tell you, there are days I do not want to. But in order to keep the momentum going, I need the determination, the consistency, and I have to keep doing the reps. I have to keep doing what's necessary in order to keep momentum going.
I wrote it out there.
So I want to know what you guys are thinking. Yes.
I wrote it out there. Determination, consistency, and keep doing the reps even when you don't want to. Everybody's giving shout outs to Michael. Michael. Awesome. Joanna is saying Johnny Vision's in the house. We got a whole crew in the house today. All right. Johnny Scott, ready? He's in. Johnny is saying that early morning quiet time is to keep the vision clear and focused. So he's answering your first question, right? So he's answering that first.
I love that. I love that.
And I got to say, I'll speak, Johnny, and you can write more. That is something that he is determined to do. He does that consistently. and he keeps doing it over and over and over again. We've talked about this. I think a lot of people can read about this. What do they say? 21 days doing something straight consistently, staying, keeping that, doing it over and over again creates a habit. 90 days creates a lifestyle. They've changed it all the time. 88 days, 90 days, right? And I love that piece that you were saying, determination. Big difference than being motivated, because we've talked about that last week, right? It's what you said really hit me, sis. Even when you don't want to. And I just realized how many times I don't get the results I want because I let the even when I don't want to get in the way. Right? What's that obstacle? I don't wanna. So, boom, I don't take action. And when you break that consistency, it takes you off target. Now, having the mindset that, I think Sharon said, and it's not always positive, Sharon, but having the mindset, because I even don't want to, like that mindset of, but I'm going to do it anyway, right? When I am consistent in what I say I want, the results happen. When I'm not, and inconsistent and, repeating that same pattern over and over again, it's working. Hey, if the pattern's working and it's bringing you the results, why are you going to switch it up? And how many of us do that? I used to. That was part of my old thing. That worked, but right? That, what is it called? The shiny bright object syndrome, right? Oh wait, that worked. And I was working. It was working. But oh wait a minute, hold on over here. Like, wait, this sounds really nice over here, And then all of a sudden you go over here and then it stopped the momentum. And then you have these bumps and these turns and these U-turns and all this stuff, and you get in your head. So I love this. I love this. All right. We got something from Sharon. She says, every week when I go to chemo, whoops, hold on. Hang out. Like every week when I go to chemo, I know I have to go the next week and next week to beat this disease, to beat cancer. If anybody follows Sharon, she's got TikTok, she's everywhere. She is raw and real, people. She is not wanting to go to chemo many times. Many, many, many times. But her determination of having cancer be in remission and out of her body is bigger than her mindset of, I don't want to. Even her fear of what anything that happens. And like I said, if you follow her, every week is a new thing for her. So yeah, man, that is way to go, Sharon. Keeping up the momentum will make me well. Yes. She's on fire. Awesome.
Absolutely. And Michael
Yes.
said positive attitude.
Oh, Michael's a positive
Definitely
attitude.
need the
Yes.
positive attitude. Yeah. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Momentum thrives on consistency, not perfection.
Ooh,
So
I
we don't
like
need to
that.
keep the momentum going and be perfect. We need to be consistent and not perfect. I talked about this the other day in class, and it's this thing that we have with being perfect, and then we want everything to be so perfect. Sometimes we don't complete a project or a task that we're working on because we want it to be perfect. Getting something done is better than perfect. It's not in learn any lessons. It's in the mistakes that we make that we learn the lessons. So if you keep striving for perfection, what are you learning? Question. So again, momentum thrives on consistency, not perfection.
I'm throwing it right up there right now.
Does that make sense?
Yes. Momentum thrives on consistency, not perfection. How many of you out there, write it in there, are perfectionists? All right, Joanna, yes to the reps. When we keep on doing something consistently, it becomes automatic and we get the results without wearing ourselves out. 100%. 100%. Listen, I'll tell you right now, if Raquel and I worked on perfectionism of having this show, it wouldn't be on. It's not even a thought in our minds about having a perfect show. We are very clear. We have an intention and we are determined to have a conversation with you. We're having a conversation with you and dropping our knowledge, what's important to us, and having you guys engage in this conversation. Perfectionism would be something that we'd never get anywhere. If I sat there and wanted to have perfect choreo for every class that I teach, forget it. I said, Joanna, thanks for raising her hand. I'm like, who's a? She's like, she is a recovering perfectionist. Anybody else out there recovering perfectionist? Please chime in. Yeah,
Motivations to being recovering from that. I was never
I
one
love it.
that wanted to necessarily be perfect. It wasn't really my thing. I'm already perfectly and wonderfully made in God's image and likeness. I know that for sure, for sure. But I make mistakes. Raquel makes mistakes. Raquel needs to get something done. And I realized a while ago it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be done, though. And I put my 100% effort into it. And that makes a difference.
Yes. And Sharon's got the perfect way to say it, right? I don't even want to be a perfectionist. I just want to do what's best for me to move forward and keep the momentum going. I'll make mistakes. We all do. And that's what makes us stronger, right? Those mistakes are the lessons in our life that shines a light on things to say, maybe we need to pivot and try something a little bit different if it matters to us, right? And we want to have that momentum to get the results we want. And it does make us stronger. Sharon, boom. This is where Kel and I have been like focusing on how do we get these great sound effects, right? There's great like mic drops. It's awesome, Sharon. Absolutely. So perfectionism, nope. But keep that going, keep that momentum moving forward. I love it. Great conversation. You guys are rocking it tonight. All right, sis, keep on going.
And I think someone may have mentioned routine, right? And the routine, when we get into a routine, it removes the need for constant motivation.
Ooh, I like it.
Here's the thing about motivation that I've learned is that a person is only going to be motivated if they want to be. So when I get into a routine, it removes the need for constant motivation. See, because there are times where we may get upset because someone isn't moving. We've got a momentum going, right? And there's someone who's important to us in our lives, whomever that is, and we want them to get momentum going and get in a routine, and we're trying to motivate them to do it. And the thing is, we get disappointed because they don't get motivated. They don't take action to live a healthier lifestyle. They don't take action to sign up and get into school. They don't take action to get another job, whatever it is that they don't do. And we're trying to motivate the heck out of them. And guess what? It won't work until that person chooses differently than what they're doing now. Until they get into a routine. They're already in a routine. We just don't like the routine that they're in, right? So routine removes the need for constant motivation. If they can get into a routine, we can't motivate someone enough to take action that's going to benefit them in their life.
I
We can
love
try, and I know, no disrespect to motivational speakers, not what I'm talking about. See, here's the difference. I used to want to be a motivational speaker. I honestly did. And then I realized that motivation sometimes will only last as long as that person is in that conference or that workshop or that seminar. And what I really want you to do is take what you've heard and I want you to carry that outside of this seminar or this workshop. And I want you to be transformed. So I switched. I was like, transformational speaker makes sense to me. Again, no disrespect to motivational speakers. I'm speaking for myself. Because when I read my Bible, it says we are renewed by the transforming of our, doesn't say the motivation of our mind. And God is first and foremost in my life. So I'm going to follow that word and see where I should be going, the direction. And it is to transform the way people think because that leads to longevity and consistency. That's just me,
Yes. Yes.
speaking strictly for me. So again, that's just
But
Raquel.
and we're out to like, right,
That's
educate and
chosen
empower, and
because she's
that
done
made
the
a difference for
research.
Joanna. She said, "I love that point about routine removing the need for constant motivation. Thank you for my new mantra." And this is it, right? We're just having an honest conversation. Raquel is speaking from her heart. She's sharing what she's learning for herself. That inspired me because it's really interesting. Again, we haven't spoken in this past week since last week, at like 9 o'clock when we last saw each other. And one of the things why I posted on the posts was, what are some of the obstacles, right, that stop us from having momentum? And I wanted to bring out the question, which was motivation, right? Motivation seems like such a great thing. And like you said, it's in that moment. In that moment, I'm in that seminar, I'm in that workshop, I'm in that, at that moment, but then it disappears the minute, like, it's because we're working on the feeling of it, right? Like, I have to feel, that's why you said
Mm,
do it anyway. We got to do it anyway, because for me, what I got from your speech and from what you were just talking about and what just downloaded for me was motivation is that, like, I'm in the feeling of it, right? Like, oh, this feels good. I'm in the like
mm,
feels, and nothing wrong about feeling good. I mean, what I got was, if I'm doing consistent reps over and over again, and then it flows like a routine, that's going to be a real authentic, like, joy, happiness, like all of that. When I'm motivated in that, it's sort of like having that instant cup of coffee real quick because you're tired and you have a cup of coffee and it gives you automatically that energy. But as soon as that, caffeine wears off, it's you crash. That's what I kind of just got for
mm.
myself. Like, oh, that motivation is for a moment, right? You're surrounded by all those people and you leave with a woohoo. And then you walk out the door and you're out into the world and you're like, where's my cheerleading team? Like, where's my peeps? And then all of those feels and all of those feel good
Right.
dopamine stuff disappeared. We've got to create that dopamine for ourselves, and we got to go through. And I think you've talked about this before, and I want you to talk about it again, sis. It's like, there's this what's the word I'm looking for? There's this like misconception of struggles, this misconception
Mm,
of challenges, this misconception of circumstances. We've talked about this a long time ago, but they are the things that the everyday life that's lifing at us that we don't like are really the opportunities that can provide momentum in our life to move forward to what we really want. And so I don't care if it's
mm,
relationship, job, kids, I don't know, pick whatever that is. The trip, the pocketbook, the clothes, whatever that is. Like, that obstacle, that thing which most people talk about is money. I can't go right to Hawaii because of money. Then I got no momentum, right? Right? It's like, oh, I get to like say, I can't go, but that's not true. Like, it's the hard stuff you're talking about, going and taking those actions anyway and breaking through that,
mm.
transforming that conversation that's going to have me, you know, do whatever that action is to get me to that destination, to get me to that whatever I want. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. I think that is so amazing. And what I'm getting is we have to start small. Momentum,
Yep.
we're not asking you to jump in and get and start this huge task or project. Small. Start small. We talked about it last week. If you want to write one page. Is it challenging sometimes to write a page if you're a writer? Absolutely. But guess what? Sit down and write something anyway. It's about the action that you're taking. It's about the determination that you have to accomplish this task. It's about being consistent. It's also about something else here. What do you guys think about this? And I'm interested in what your thoughts about this statement. Is discipline replaces willpower?
Ooh, discipline replaces willpower. Mm.
What I'm going to say as you're thinking, the post coffee
Here it
drinking
is.
crash is an excellent illustration for the fleeting nature of motivation. Because that's how it is, right? You drink it, you're up, you crash. Except for me, because when I drink coffee, I get sleepy. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
me too.
I'm a different breed.
No, it's a lot. I have that too. So that as a high energy person at night, if I don't sleep, it also does the opposite as well. You can help people sleep. But I love this. I love what you said. Say that again. Discipline versus willpower. Is
Discipline
that it?
replaces willpower. I want to
I
know, audience, what do you think about that statement that discipline replaces willpower? Just
ooh, I like.
curious about your thoughts.
All right, I'm
Because
putting it out.
if someone is disciplined, it's more than, like we were talking, like you said, sis, it's more than just that motivation, right? Because I'll tell you, there are days, for those of you that have been with us for a while, you know that I do kickboxing. Absolutely love it. Do I love it being in the Northeast in South Jersey when it is like 20 degrees, 25 degrees, and I get up and I go out there in the cold and I go to the studio? I don't want to leave my warm bed. However, I'm determined to live a healthy lifestyle. And the only way to do that is to be consistent. And I have to be disciplined in order to, in spite of the weather, get up and do what I need to do. That keeps my momentum going. But here's what I've discovered. And I've discovered that when I say it to myself, oh my gosh, I don't feel like going, I get up and I go anyway. Because I've gotten it out of the way. I've actually said it out loud. It's no longer a thought in my head. I've said, I don't feel like going, but I get up and go anyway. How many of you have kids? Red, you have a kid? How many times has she gotten up in the morning and said, I don't want to go to school, but guess what? She goes to school
No, this
anyway?
morning. Joanna has something great. Says this is
Exactly.
Joanna says it's easy to conflate discipline and willpower. Good point, but would like to go get deeper for clarity. We might not do that today, Joanna, but I love it. And Sharon's like, I love it. But it is. I love this conversation. Same thing. We've got this full month of it. Because Raquel and I love looking up meanings and definitions. So I was just quickly like, okay, we got some meaning of willpower. So I'm just gonna just give you this little bit of meaning of willpower according to some psychological scientists, right? This isn't Regina. This is the psychological. And because we are this type of show, it's the ability to delay gratification, resisting short term temptations in order to meet long term goals, the capacity to override an unwanted thought, feeling, or impulse. That's what they say willpower is. The the scientists over here, the psychological scientists. So the capacity to override unwanted thoughts, feelings, or impulse so that you can meet long term goals. Just saying, that's
Hmm.
one version. There probably are much more other. So as we continue and you're talking, I'm going to look up the other scientific psychological for discipline. What do you think about that one?
What I find interesting is when you first started, you said willpower is to delay gratification.
Yep.
And I find that interesting because I do get gratification from going and accomplishing my workouts in the morning. That's gratifying for me. So I guess it's more than willpower that's got me getting up. It's actually discipline that's got me getting up. Because if willpower and the first definition they gave, part of the definition was to delay gratification. Why would I want to delay gratification?
because it's beyond
So it's a
gratification,
discipline.
right? So here's what they have for
Yeah,
discipline.
it's not, it's a
Yeah.
discipline.
So exactly.
Yeah, okay, go. What you got for
She's like,
discipline?
I'm going. I'm moving on. All right. So in the discipline we have is a self-control that is gained by requiring that rules or orders, I don't like that one, be obeyed. Well, I mean, that's just me. And the ability to keep working at something that's difficult. So it's a self control that is gained by requiring that the rules, whatever the rules are to be like, obeyed, and the ability to keep working at something that's difficult. Disciplinarians believe that such self control is the utmost importance and enforce a set of rules that aim to develop such behavior. Kind of big words here, but you being like, are a great way of shifting. That's two different things, because that's the other one was more a reactionary, like letting go of that good feeling, right? And this one is more like
Mm-hmm.
working through, like doing what you said you were going to do based on those rules. Like you're going to kickboxing, you don't do your way, you get up and you go to kickboxing, and you've got your kickboxing coach or your teacher, you go and follow and do that, what they're doing, right? So there you are. So, and it could be difficult, but you're going and doing it, not doing your own way. I only way I can say this for myself is like, I definitely am somebody who's like does not like to follow rules. I've done that most of my life in how the teacher says to do your paper, you know, how my coach is like, hey, follow this, and this. But it's too, the mindset gets into, oh, that's too hard. I don't wanna, you know, it's difficult, whatever that thing is. So I go against the rules. Now, once in a while, I can prove myself right, and I can prove myself absolutely correct. But when I really have the discipline and go and follow the rules and do what's said and do the work that said is supposed to be done this way, there is so much more success. The flow becomes so much more, it becomes that routine, like you said. And in the long run, it is true self satisfaction versus taking a shortcut for it works the first time, the five other
Right.
times it doesn't, and then five more times it gets worse. And then but I'll prove you, Raquel. I'll prove you, so and so, right? So that's where I'm kind of distinguishing the difference, which is there are reasons why people are considered experts in their fields, and they have a reason why they have their rules and their structures and the way it's done. So we're just using, like, I'm using that, and I can see how many times I have not done that because, quote unquote, it's too difficult. So interesting. Self discipline. I got to
Wow.
work on self discipline, people.
I like the fact that you said, oh, something's too difficult. So I felt like if it's too difficult, I don't want to do it. Right. And therein lacks the discipline, because
Yep.
anything worth having is gonna force you to put some work, effort, and energy into it. And when I think of willpower, it's like saying, I'm gonna start this diet, and your friend brings over strawberry cheesecake or whatever kind of sweets or whatever you like, and then it takes willpower not to have a slice, but just thank the person. And I'm like, hmm, that delays the gratification, but I would think that it takes a disciplined person who
Yes.
has self-control, right? Yes. To not have that slice of cake, because the girlfriend or boyfriend could leave it at your house, and then do you still have the discipline, the self-control not to go
Yep.
and have a slice when no one is around? Because that's when it matters most, when no one is around. We do things when people are around, and yeah, let me do this because this person is here and they're watching. But what happens when no one is there? When it's just you? Are you still disciplined to do what you know you ought to do? I don't want to say should.
Yeah.
What you ought to do
Yep.
in order to accomplish what you said you would. It takes discipline. And by no means do I get it right all the time. Let me just be the first one to put my hand up and say I don't get it right all the time. I have good intentions, but sometimes that's not enough. It's the action that needs to go with it
And it's
that gets
and you're
things
saying,
done.
and it's the consistency, right? Like here's the thing, and then we can get into the awareness and all of that. This is all one big, coming like in a circle, if we can have this beautiful diagram, right? Because at the end of the day, like you're saying, here's the discipline, we fall off, right? We fall off. But if we have like that self-awareness to be like, okay, fell off, boom, whatever that is, I may not like it or whatever, but that discipline, not the willpower, but that discipline and that commitment and that consistency, all of that. It's, not like one stop shopping, guys. It is a whole, array, an army, a community of stuff for yourself. And then if, you can even have a bunch of people around you, but no one's like, your friends aren't going to cheer you, lead you, like you're saying, into it. It is really up to you to do that work. So there is, your own mindset, your own, structures that you've put into place, the commitment to that, the consistency of that, the discipline to have that, however you do it daily, every single day, like Johnny was saying, fall off, notice your mindset, notice where that's going, and then right back up. I think the biggest thing to walk away with here is that structure, because all of that's there. That discipline was what they were saying, those obeying rules. It's do I have, and I notice on certain things that I really want, I don't have any structures in place. There's no rules. If I don't
Mm.
know, and I'm just like, whatever, I got no rules and no structure. Oh, it is so easy. It's so easy to like get out of what I say I want, because no one's going to be like, hey, Regina, so, what's the plan of action? That's why people who work with coaches, business
Mm.
bosses, wherever you are, the reason why they give you an outline 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, however you need to do it. So if you don't have a structure or a business plan or all of whatever this is for you, there are lots of holes. And so the results that you're going to want from that big goal is going to, man, I'm just talking out loud, people. This is great. I'm just talking way out loud. This was a fantastic,
No, but I love that. I love having that structure
yeah.
because that's your guide. That can change,
Hmm.
but at least it gives you a starting point, which is all a part of momentum, having that starting point. And that's what that structure is, whether it's a business plan or plan of action, whatever it is for you, it gives you that starting point to keep building your momentum.
Yes.
The hardest part is to start. The hardest thing actually is to make the decision. Once you've made the decision, then the next thing is to start, right? And so having that structure does. So I think that's phenomenal.
Now, this is
I
great.
absolutely love
I
that.
love it. See, I said wasn't planned, but it goes right into what I'm going to do as a pitch because this is what we worked on. We as a group were like, what are some of the things that has worked for Raquel and I that, and we've had other people that believe in it. So we have created an opportunity to get a type of structure for you to start thinking about what you want in your life, the goals that you want, and the questions, and even some actionable steps to go and have that happen. So we created, right? I'm going to put it up here, the Rise and Thrive Together journal, right? It's a weekly reflections, questions, and inspiring quotes. And we did that so that is one of the structures. It's one of the things that I've used, Raquel has used, and we created between the four of us, Joey and Hal and Raquel and I, 52 reflective questions slash some actionable steps to take with, sure, some inspiring quotes, right? Because sometimes it's just like what Raquel did today, which was like giving us some thought, giving us from thoughts of some quotes that she had heard, right? Sharon's like, I'm absolutely exhausted tonight, but I'm so happy that I stayed up for this because it's one of the best episodes I've been on and it has taught me so much. Thank you. Thank you, Sharon. I, we love you and
That's so
so
awesome.
proud of you.
We're so happy for that.
Yeah. And that's it. That's what we made our structure is to be on here each week. Each month we create a theme. Raquel and I talk about what's happening. We have structures around how we get guests. If you want to be a guest, you want to share your story, you want to be on with us, you want to have these conversations, just reach out to us. Super simple. www.riseandthrivetogether.com. That simple. www.riseandthrivetogether.com. Come on, fill out the form, talk about what you want to talk about, and let's have a conversation, see if you're, you know, the right fit for the show. And that's that. Joanna's like, you're in flow tonight.
And we love you, Sharon. Thank you so much for staying awake.
Yep. Thank you.
Love it, love it,
Thank
love
you,
it.
Joanna. You're in flow. Great ideas. Structure as a starting point is bona fide and necessary. Raquel Stewart. Boom. We're both in flow and hot tonight. This all comes from, again, conversations and our commitments and our consistency of being here. And we can't do this without you guys, right? We cannot do this. Raquel and I could do this all day, right? Like we could have that. But it really makes a difference when you have a community that's in the inquiry with us, giving us the fuel to have us share, our thoughts and have you guys share yours. So we really, really appreciate it. We've got lots more coming for the rest of this, month. Super excited. Again, I'm going to throw at the bottom, please, 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 if you're interested in being a guest, come and be on riseandthrivetogether.com. And we are working on our biggest project, which is like having these awesome, awesome sponsorship packages that even provide more for you, more for the community, more for everyone. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, again, go on to riseandthrivetogether.com and we will get back to you and share what's possible for you and for the community. This is awesome tonight, sis. This was like, woo, you need to go way more often.
I love it. Sharon, motivation kept me up, baby. I absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Johnny. Great workshop tonight. And Diane, great show and subject to think about. Thank you. No, thanks is to all of you for actively participating. And we do not, under any circumstances, take it for granted that you spend time with us and that you contribute and pour into our community. So we thank you all so very much. And as always, remember, together we can rise and thrive. Till next time.
A world filled with peace, love, unity, and compassion. Time to bust this out and start this power.